All right, so get this. Today's deep dive. We're looking into something pretty wild, big tech, going nuclear.
Yeah.
Not, like a Twitter meltdown or anything, like actually nuclear power, like the real deal.
It's kind of a head scratcher at first.
Right. You've got all these digital companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft. All of a sudden they're messing with, well, nuclear power.
Yeah, and we've got some pretty interesting reports here detailing exactly what they're up to.
Yeah, it just seems like such a weird combo, right?
Yeah.
Like you got the digital world, the cloud, all that, and then like atoms splitting.
Well, the thing is, the digital world uses a ton of energy, way more than people realize.
Really? Like how much are we talking?
Think about it, running something like, say, ChatGPT, that thing eats up enough juice to power a small city.
Whoa, no kidding.
Yeah, so these companies, they've got these massive data centers, and those things are energy hogs, absolute energy hogs.
So it's more than just about keeping the servers running,
Hmm.
right? Like there's got to be a bigger picture here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. These companies are all pledging to go carbon neutral, right? So they need clean energy, and they need a lot of it.
And that's where nuclear comes in.
Exactly. Nuclear power, it's reliable, it's scalable, and it's clean.
So let's get into the specifics. Like, what are these companies actually doing?
Okay, so take Amazon, for example. They've got this deal with a company called Talon Energy, a power purchase agreement.
A power purchase agreement. What's that?
Basically, Amazon is prepaying for a chunk of a nuclear power plant's output. So they're locking in a clean energy supply at a set price.
Smart move, especially with energy prices all over the place.
Exactly. And that's not all. Amazon's also putting money directly into a bunch of other nuclear projects across the U.S.
Wow, so they're really going all in on this.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just Amazon. We've got Microsoft teaming up with Constellation Energy.
Constellation Energy, they're like a big energy company, right?
Yeah. And they're working together to reopen, get this, 3 Mile Island.
Wait, 3 Mile Island? Like the
Yeah.
3 Mile Island?
The one and only.
Isn't that kind of risky?
Yeah.
Like associating themselves with, well, that whole disaster.
It's definitely a gamble, but it also shows how serious they are about changing the way people think about nuclear power.
So they're trying to flip the script, turn a negative into a positive.
Exactly. If they can pull it off, it'd be a huge PR win.
And then you've got Bill Gates, right?
Yeah.
With his company, TerraPower.
Yeah, they're building a whole new nuclear plant out in Wyoming.
And Google, they're not sitting on the sidelines either, right? They're working with some startup called X Energy.
X Energy, yeah, they're developing these like advanced reactors, whatever those are.
It's like everyone's jumping on the nuclear bandwagon all of a sudden.
And there's a common thread here. They're all really interested in these things called small modular reactors, or SMRs.
SMRs, yeah, I've heard that term thrown around. What's the deal with those?
Okay, so think about traditional nuclear plants, right? Huge, complex, take forever to build, and cost a fortune.
Yeah, kind of like dinosaurs of the energy world.
Exactly, but SMRs, they're different, they're smaller, more flexible, and supposedly way cheaper and faster to build.
So they're like the agile startups of the nuclear world.
Haha, yeah, something like that. See, the way they build these SMRs is totally different.
How so?
Instead of building these massive structures on site, they manufacture the reactors in modules off-site.
Like in a factory.
Exactly. And then they ship those modules to the site and just like assemble them like giant Lego blocks.
So it's like prefab housing for nuclear reactors.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's actually pretty clever. It could really shake things up in the industry.
That's the idea. It could address some of the biggest problems holding nuclear power back, like, the cost overruns, the delays.
Okay, so all this sounds really promising, but let's be real. There's still a lot of baggage that comes with nuclear power, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the safety concerns are still there, the waste disposal issue, nobody's figured that out completely yet.
And, the possibility of accidents, that's always going to be in the back of people's minds.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are all things the industry needs to tackle head on. But this is where big tech's involvement could actually be a good thing.
Really? How so?
Well, these companies, they're disruptors, right? They've got tons of resources, cutting-edge tech, and they're not afraid to try new things.
So they're not shying away from the challenges. They're like leaning in.
Yeah, they're basically saying, hey, we've solved complex problems before, we can do it again with nuclear.
So it's like they see the potential of nuclear, but they also recognize the problems, and they think they can fix those problems.
Exactly. And if they can, well, the implications are huge, not just for them, but for the entire energy landscape, for climate change, everything.
It's a pretty wild thought. A future powered by clean nuclear energy, all thanks to, of all things, big tech.
And here's a question to ponder. What if these mini nuclear plants, these SMRs, start popping up everywhere, not just powering data centers, but entire towns, cities? What would that do to the world?
That's a good question. I mean, it would definitely change things, maybe for the better, maybe not, who knows?
Exactly. It's a story that's just beginning, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Well, that's it for this deep dive, folks. We'll be keeping an eye on this whole big tech nuclear thing. Definitely a lot to unpack there.
Definitely lots to think about.
Until next time.
See ya.